Welcome to the Heat Source Quickfire, the mini episode where we taste and discuss one sauce in under 15 minutes. Hopefully. We bring our best facts to the table and let you decide whose is best. Let's heat up. And welcome back to the Heat Source Quickfire, where we're going to be trying two sauces. I feel like double headers are kind of just the thing we do now.
Yeah.
It's just easier to get, it's hard to say, hey, get up early in the morning for 15 minutes.
Yeah, right.
So.
Yeah, and I like the little bit more side chat instead of getting crammed into 10, 15 minutes. So.
Yeah, and it does work out where we have enough sauce where usually if we try a sauce maker, we have at least two other bottles kind of looming from them. So,
Are there any one-trick ponies out there?
We have one sauce that was sent to us. That's one sauce that they make right now. That I know we have that. We have a couple sauces where I didn't want to buy the whole farm in Boston. And so like this one, Hell's Kitchen Hot Sauces, who we're trying today, two of their sauces, we already tried their Cinnamon Ghost Punch, but he has like 12 sauces. Mm-hmm. He has some type of wide array, and they're all really good and different. And this morning, we're trying Westside Red hot sauce and a Black Forest Black Cherry Balsamic Ghost hot sauce. So both, I'm assuming, are going to be pretty unique flavors.
Yeah,
and
for sure. I'm excited for that Black Forest. I hope you go into Black Forest ham, because I don't know what Black Forest ham is. But like everyone knows what it is, but no one really knows what it is.
If you give me 10 minutes, I can do that. No, I didn't do that. That one, I was back and forth on a fact, so I might switch it up, kind of call an audible at the very end. But this is, again, the Hell's Kitchen hot sauce, which is made by Ron Menon, who he was in our 11th episode with the Cinnamon Ghost Punch. He has the very unique bottling style where he has basically each sauce has its own unique pinup girl with a theme to the sauce that he makes. So very unique, very cool. He was one that I met at the Boston Hot Sauce Festival. Super nice. I felt bad for him. He was set up right next to where the band was playing outside. So, which the band wasn't bad. So it wasn't like, oh, you have to struggle through this music.
Just the sheer volume of music all day.
Selling hot sauce, there is a very major verbal element.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, let me tell you about this sauce. Hold on, the drum solo's happening.
That's
so that was a bummer, but
it's like, the sauce is great. And he's like, did he just call my hair gray?
Like, yeah. Like, no, that's let's just wait. And I'm not a super loud speaker, so it's one where in normal situations people go, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, again, another early morning. I almost made coffee this morning, but I was too tired.
No, I had some pep in my step on the way here, and I listened to too much ABBA, and I burned myself out by the time I got here. Now I'm tired again.
Yeah, you gotta wait for like one song right before you get here.
I came out of the gate hard. It was ABBA and Michael Jackson back to back, and I was just like, all right, I'm ready to do this. By the time I got here, which is like a 40-minute drive, I'm like, man, I'm pretty tired.
You got that like get psyched mix, but you're going too hard, where it's just like, I've been psyched for 30 minutes, I can't. But this episode's going to be coming out right after Halloween, so that's kind of appropriate because like these pinup girls almost are like each one is in their own different like Halloween costume, it seems. But this Westside Red hot sauce, it's a sriracha meets Louisiana style, and it says on the bottle, in this complex and flavorful award-winning recipe. It's great on everything. It's easy. The ingredient list is Fresno peppers, red habaneros, garlic, raspberry, lime juice, salt, shallots, vinegar, and blue agave nectar. So we've been on a Louisiana kick lately.
We have, and I'm not bummed about it. I love Louisiana style hot sauces. And I mean, sriracha on oysters is good, and Louisiana style on oysters is good. So this should be double good on oysters.
So at this point, we could have 3 separate Louisiana inspired hot sauces to try on oysters. I'm
going to do that. I'm going to swing by Fish Lads if we ever do another afternoon episode again, and just get a couple flights of oysters and bring them over here.
That's when you know like we're going to another level of class. Is when we did the chicken wing episode of like just a bunch of like chicken wings that we toss in sauce. It's like, all right, now we have an oyster sampling.
Right.
So this one was released around February of 2021 is when I saw that he kind of announced the introduction to this on Instagram. But yeah, let's crack this one open and take a look. This one, I feel good about my fun fact for this one.
My fun fact's going to be a little scrambled, but I had to call an audible because I heard something last night. And I'm like, really? That led to the downfall of an empire?
That's a good tease. Man, I don't know what it is. I don't know if I've changed my technique on how I open these bottles, but it starts great, and then a third of the way down, one of the perforations is like, I'm done. Yeah. And then it detours inside.
Into the Simon Cowell collar.
Simon Cowell V. The Flying V.
Have you seen those, like the rumble strips in a highway? Have you seen the ones sometimes they'll do like a musical version of it? Like they'll space it out so it plays like the Mario theme song if you hit that.
I think I've seen that on YouTube. I don't know. Someone
needs to develop a perforation where when you pull it, plays just a little tune like a music box or something like that.
That would be impressive. Yeah, I don't know how the science behind that would be. I do get a little
that
sweetness.
Smells like a mix of Sriracha and Louisiana style.
Yeah, I do get the Sriracha smell.
Ooh, I like that.
To it, where you get that garlic and that pepperiness. But yeah,
it smells very garlicky, very peppery.
It's a very smooth pour, so be warned. We had Mammoth Hot Sauce message me last week.
Let me guess, a request to see my side of the table.
Yeah, he wanted to see. He's like, you guys talk about it. You guys really got to do something. So,
gosh, that is a smooth pour.
The funny thing is that I feel like it's underselling what your side of the table looks like, but this is the second fold of the blanket. There's another section that has it. But let's give this a try.
I get hit with a sweetness right away.
Yeah.
Which I like. And then it goes right into just like a real savory sauce.
It is funny for me. It is like my brain is telling me like, oh, you're having Sriracha. And then later on it's like, yeah, this is great Louisiana style. And it's like, wait, you said.
The initials, you get a Sriracha first. Mm-hmm. With a Louisiana style finish, like with that garlicky.
What I like about this is that with regular Sriracha, with Hui Fong Sriracha, it is very almost like biting. It is very like a sharp, like garlic. It's like, I don't know. When we had it, I just remember it was very aggressive. This one is a little bit more mellow as far as you're getting those flavors, but they're blended in a much nicer way. This, for sure, would replace Hui Fong Sriracha for me.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
And it's easier to find. I don't know if the shortage of Sriracha is still a thing.
I haven't heard a thing about it. So
somebody was talking on one of the hot sauce groups I'm in on Facebook. They were like, yeah, people say that there was a shortage. Never saw it missing in my grocery store.
See, I did. So it must have been pretty localized. Granted, it's kind of hipstery.
Yeah.
So I'm sure.
Also, Michigan as a state, not to judge a whole state in generalities, but not exactly the biggest spice-loving state. Like, the Midwest, I feel like they don't think about Midwest. Like, when you think of spice, you think of down south. Yeah. The Midwest isn't really thought of that. Maybe it's because we're too close to Canada and they're everything covered in gravy.
Yeah, you cross the bridge and you go get a pasty. Yeah. And they're like, so you want it smothered in gravy?
I was real disappointed. My parents went up north to the UP and they were like, oh, do you want a pasty? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. Like, if you're going to get some for my sister, like, I'd love some. And didn't say anything. They got back, didn't really think of anything. And then like a week later, I'm like, you didn't get me that. And I was like very upset because it just was sounding good. They're like, well, why did you not think of it? I'm like, I forgot completely. Like, so you forgot completely. You weren't even like anxiously anticipating, but you're still bummed. I'm like, yes, because I probably won't be able to be up there until probably next fall when we go to Mackinac.
Right. I have a trail camera up like 5 minutes south of the bridge right now on my wife's relatives' land for deer. I don't know if I'm going to hunt it this year. I just wasn't seeing what I wanted to see. It was a cell cam. So I'm debating on driving 3 hours north to go grab that and drive 3 hours back south. So
that is a bit of a commitment. That's definitely
it is, but I don't want to leave it out. I'm just like, I could put it somewhere better than where it is right now.
So the color on this one, it's almost like a burnt orange red, a darker red. I feel like there's one of these sauces that eventually we're going to find out that I'm like partially colorblind, where I'm going to be like, oh yeah, it's got like this like green hint to it. Like, no, Matt, that's not, that's not the case. But I'm trying to, there's something else because I'm getting the Louisiana, I'm getting the Sriracha style, But there's something else that I'm like, it reminds me of some other flavor, and I can't put my finger on it.
I'm thinking maybe the raspberries.
I'm wondering if it's
just like the sweetness of the raspberries. Maybe it's
okay.
Not tart, is it?
I think I got it. Hold on, let me do one more sample, and then I think I've got it. Yep. Okay.
Light bulb.
Yeah. Have you ever had? And that's let me say the whole thing before people judge this. Have you ever had Western dressing? It looks like French, but it's Western dressing. Just says Western on it. I've got a bottle upstairs.
Is it like the reddish,
dark red
with the seeds in it?
There's no seeds in this one. At least the one that I get.
No, I know what you're talking about.
The sweetness of this reminds me of the Western dressing, which I love. It's a great thing for.
No, I could see that. I haven't had that in a long time.
When we do taco salad, we do Western dressing instead of taco dressing because we have the taco meat and we have other flavors of. Mm-hmm. It makes me sound super white. Right after I said the Michigan, we don't really do heat. The sweetness of that reminds me of Western, but then you get more garlic, more heat, more flavor. But the initial, that's what I'm going to.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is that? Because it's the only of all the salad dressings out there that, like, especially the non-heat based salad dressing, it's my favorite because it has a really good tang. It's like, it's not as basic as ketchup. It's not as super sugary as barbecue, but it's like in the middle.
Yeah.
It's got a good tang.
Tangy. That's a good way to put that.
It has a good tang.
I like that.
But yeah, I was like, what is this reminding me of? And why am I hungry for something I don't remember? So, that was going to bother me.
All right. What's your fact?
All right. So for this one, I went raspberry. Did you go raspberry?
So did I, but I called it an audible.
Okay.
I can't say that word this morning.
I'd be very curious if you went the same route as me because this is very random.
Okay.
All right. So this is one of those like folklore legend facts. Okay. So it's not, it's one that's just, this is what back in the day people believed. So according to legend, raspberries were originally white and the nymph Ida pricked her finger while picking berries for the crying infant Jupiter, and raspberries have since been tinged red with her blood.
I did read that.
I just find, like, the folklore ones,
fun.
I like it because it's like, it would be fun to, like, say, okay, everybody pick something and you have to make up a story that just is like, something like this, like, some otherworldly thing happened.
Right.
Like, it's kind of like when we were kids and it's like, oh, thunder and lightning, God's bowling. It's like,
I haven't heard that in a long time, but my parents would say that. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
I thought there was electricity in the sky
He's
making a loud noise.
Really well. Yeah. He's just doing like really good.
They're killing it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's funny. I wonder if that's a Michigan thing, too.
What, the bowling?
Yeah. Is that a Michigan thing? Because, like, my grandma used to say that.
I wonder, because... Yeah,
leave a comment if you've heard that before. If your grandparents calmed you with thunder with God's just bowling.
Yeah,
because we're in what's called the Bible Belt, so there's a solid chance it could be a Michigan thing.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's always so many things where I think it's. What was the thing that I had talked to you about recently, where I asked you and someone else in the office, and
freaking like, wet burritos?
No, not the wet burrito. There's another one where I said, I think it was a phrase I said, and you're like, I've never heard that. Now I have to. Now that's enough. I get these little, like, now I have to focus on that for a minute.
Was it the most famous basketball player ever that I've never heard of?
No, that's not one that. I asked you and I asked somebody else, and I was like, you've heard of this, right? And they're like, no. But yeah, I don't think it's bad because, like, people that don't know sports just don't know sports. Yeah. It's just, I am so invested in, like, being an NBA fan that one of my favorite things is, when someone wants to talk basketball, I go back to, like, the 60s. And then they're like, oh, I don't want to talk about, like, that. I want to talk about, like, now or, like, the 2000s.
Yeah.
Where they're, like, greatest shooters of all time. And I'm like, Bill Sharman. Bill Sharman was a great shooter. It's like, if we had the three-point line, who would have known how good he would have been? Like, who? I'm like, 1960s Boston Celtics. And so it is, that's a fun one to do. But, yeah, I can't remember what, just because that was a little vague. Mike was unfamiliar with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
But you showed me photos and videos. I'm like, oh, I've seen that guy.
In pop culture, but yes. Also, and it's one where I'm like, initially I freak out. I'm like, how do you not know? And then I go, complete the sentence. How do you not know about a 70s, 60s, or 70s and 80s NBA, star. And it's like, oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Right.
It's like, no, but not everybody, like, once they learned to love a sport, went back into the history.
Yeah. But also, so it's like Andre the Giant, 7'3"?
Yeah.
Everyone knows him because he's
Huge.
a big dude. Yeah. So you're like, oh yeah, Kareem's 7'3".
7'2", actually, when I looked it up.
Sorry, 7'2".
But yeah, still.
But it's one of those things where it's like, because he doesn't weigh 600 pounds, no one really knows about. Like, I don't follow. No one follows wrestling, but everyone knows who Andre the Giant is.
Yeah, like those people. But also, I think Andre the Giant, because like Princess Bride, like that was a big.
Yeah. Did I just say no one follows wrestling? I think I did. So a lot of people follow wrestling, but even people that don't follow wrestling know who Andre the Giant
didn't
is.
register with me, but yeah, I do know a lot of people love wrestling. So, and it's definitely real. I know that, like, it's funny. A friend of mine, his wife, she watches wrestling because she's like, I love the storylines. It's like, wrestling is just soap operas.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
I remember it was on, do you remember like the sports, like blooper show, like You Gotta See This or something like that? There's a sports reporter that goes up to some wrestler. I don't know who it is. He's like, so what do you say to the people that say wrestling's fake? And he's like, you think wrestling's fake? And this dude, just monster of a human being, is slapping this tiny reporter, like open palm slapping him. And it is like knocking him to the ground like he's a fly.
Yeah, I mean, when people say wrestling's, fake, they're not saying that people aren't strong.
Yeah.
It's like, right. It's like, we're not saying that the muscles are fake, but for heat.
Everyone knows they're all on steroids.
For heat on this, I have it as a 1.
I put 1.
Because it does have a good heat. It not something that's overwhelming.
It's there, but it doesn't linger at all.
I was expecting a little bit more heat only because we'd had their Cinnamon Ghost Punch that had a real good heat.
As a hot
and I did have their King of the Wing sauce that we had on the chicken wing episode.
Yeah.
That packed a punch. So I'm like, I'm glad that this...
I'm still working at that King of the Wing. That one's hot.
It is.
It's good, but it's hot.
Yeah. We have some more buffalo wings sauces that we're going to have to do another chicken wing episode at some point.
Those were fun.
I did a count. We have a lot of sauce, so we have plenty of content. We just have to get recording.
Yeah.
What is your fact?
So my fact for that one. So I went also the raspberry route, but last night I was watching a documentary about the Roman Empire.
Okay. As you do.
Yep. So raspberries kind of originated in that Mediterranean Roman Empire. The Romans loved raspberries. Mm-hmm. They kind of distributed them throughout the world. So I'm watching this documentary last night on the Roman Empire. They were talking about the massive bathhouses that the Romans would build. And then, obviously that empire got absolutely massive, was a massive population of people.
Yeah.
The bathhouses got huge. You have hot water. You have 1 million people using them. They started to have these really bad pandemics that were stemming from all the grossness going on in these bathhouses, weakened their society so much with these pandemics that like German barbarians were able to literally like defeat these massive empires just because their bathhouses were getting a little stanky. And I don't mean that like no stab at stanky sauce. Great sauce. Stinky.
I was going to say, but like they were getting like honey mango habanero.
Yeah. But yeah. I just thought that was interesting. Like really, like it's like the Achilles heel. Like no one saw that coming. Like, I don't know, man, if we don't clean these things, the barbarians might get us.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of those where, yeah, like you have this dominating, you said it right with the Achilles heel, where it's like, all right, Achilles is
nothing
unstoppable.
Can go wrong.
He's, I base everything on Achilles off of the movie Troy with Brad Pitt.
I know what movie it is. I've never seen it.
I've seen parts of it. It's not good. He has a weird accent in it. As much as I think Brad Pitt overall is a very underrated actor because I think he does a lot of things that are very good. Mm-hmm. That was one where I'm like, it's not a good accent. It's the movie in scale is impressive.
Yeah.
But
that Between Two Ferns with Brad Pitt, where he's like, how do you hold a tan? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, from living in your wife's shadow.
Yeah. The Two Ferns stuff. Oh, Angel sent me one recently and I'm just like, you can send me as many of these. Like you can send, she sent me the bloopers with, Brie Larson. But all right, I had for this one, we had one for heat. I had this as an 82.
74.
Okay. And I feel like that's been the Louisiana theme is
Yep.
I'm a little bit, and I think this also helps where it reminds me of one of my favorite dressings, but with more flavor and more heat. I want to caveat that because I don't want to be like, he called my sauce a salad dressing. But again, with our scale, 75 and above is I would have this in my kitchen year round. 50 to 75 is recommend to buy still. 25 to 50 is something we think is good, but maybe you don't have to like go out of your way. And then 25 and below is not for us, maybe for you. And then the heat scale with that one, it's just, there's a presence of heat. There's no reaction. There's no sweating. There's no real linger.
Yeah.
It's a good heat, but then it passes. And then number 2 is when it lingers a bit more. 3 is when you're reacting. 4 is good pain. 5 is bad pain. I don't need to explain 0. I feel like 0 is self-explanatory. 0 is the salad dressing that I am reminded of with this.
Right.
But that was the Westside Red. Let's jump into, because we're kind of crunched on time here, let's jump into the Black Forest. We went a little bit long on Brad Pitt. That's my bad. All right. So this one is a Black Forest Black Cherry Balsamic Ghost. This one, the description says the herbaceous or hearty and herbaceous sauce is wunderbar on meats like pork, steak, sausage, lamb, chicken, or charcuterie. It's meant to be enjoyed with food and beer. Now, a friend of mine just made a charcuterie board.
Mm-hmm.
He like finished it and made it food safe. And he posted on Facebook, he's like, hey, so I just dabbled and made a charcuterie board. And I messaged on it because I like to be annoying. I was like, I don't see any charcuterie. I'm like, what makes it a charcuterie board, when it's just a piece of wood? But I'm just like, is it
he
the same?
literally like made the charcuterie board.
It's just a board. Yeah. He made the board that you put the charcuterie on.
Yeah.
So I was like, and I thought about that. I'm like, what makes a charcuterie board?
I thought it was just like a wooden cutting board, or like my wife uses a slate slab.
I'm like, and maybe it's nitpicky, but I'm like, you could have said I made a board for charcuterie. But I also made the comment of like, oh, you made a charcuterie board using the food from the movie Hook that the Lost Boys eat because it's invisible.
Ah,
remember?
I haven't seen that movie.
It's one of those where I'm like, it's one of those great jokes that I love where it's like no one laughs, then I go because of this, and they're like, yeah,
there it is.
Fun. It's usually where I get. I think you do this too, but people go funny, but they don't laugh. Like that's funny. Good to confirm that.
I'm sorry.
No.
Can we appreciate the gold seal on top real quick?
So it has a gold seal on top. It has a pull tab. This one has a pull tab around.
That's fancy.
Yeah. Oh, there's heat scales on this. They've got a
2 for the
2 out of 6
red, right?
for the red. 4 out of 6 for this. So this is hotter. Has the ghost pepper. It has cherry puree, cider vinegar, sugar, lemon juice, honey, ghost pepper mash, white vinegar, garlic, balsamic vinegar, kosher salt, xanthan gum, and sage. I know you use sage in cooking quite a bit.
I love sage and I love balsamic. So great. Now we'll never get into it.
The little pull tab just like broke. This is just going to be a monstrosity. All right. I'm trying to remember. So these are ones that I tried in Boston, but it's been months now. Here, since we didn't get the seal on that one, we'll do the opening.
How did that sound in a pair of headphones?
It sounded pretty good. Ooh, I'm smelling the cherry. Smelling the balsamic. This one's similar pour as far as a very thin pour, so be warned. Now, do you want me to go first on the fun fact or second on this one?
I'll let you enjoy a few seconds of victory, strictly because I haven't thrown my fact at you yet. You're gonna love my fact.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna bow to this one.
I'm curious what category you're going if I'm gonna love it.
Ooh, I like that.
Very like a nice sweet smelling, but
now it's just bothering me. What's Black Forest about this? I don't know. Does it have to do with cherry?
Maybe.
Okay.
Let's try.
That's really unique.
That's really good. Definitely more heat on this one.
Yeah, that one's hot.
That one went right to the back of the throat.
Yeah. It jumped back there.
Yeah. Which, I mean, again, it's using the ghost pepper instead of a Fresno. So that does...
Man, that one's hot.
This one, it's definitely a high 2, depending on how it how it continues on, it might get into the 3 for heat. Yeah, Black Forest, I don't know. I'm not familiar with. Well, there's Black Cherry, though. I don't know what the forest.
I feel like if you drank a beer with this, it'd make it hotter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Alcohol in general amplifies.
Yeah.
I've said the word, like, anyone can do a, like, hot sauce, like, hot wing challenge. It should be a hot wing challenge with beer. Because it's just, like, it's like taking alcohol with medication, and it amplifies it.
I don't have much experience with that. Tell me about that.
I don't do it. I know that you're not supposed to drink with medications because a lot of times it will,
Okay.
amplify.
Okay.
I'm not a doctor.
I'd always heard it, like, alcohol thins. So does medication, like, thins your blood. So it's like, if something happens when you're doubled up on, you could just spill out right there.
And maybe I'm talking it completely out of my back end there, but I feel like that was what, for some medications, it's like, oh, you take this for pain or for whatever, but if you drink, it's gonna, like, you'll be numb.
Interesting.
I don't know. All right, so you want me to do my fact first, since...
Yep.
All right, so initially I was going to go into vinegar, and the fact isn't really, it's more just like eventually I was just like, this is really just a timestamp of vinegar was first noted at this time. I don't know. So I went into the label itself, Hell's Kitchen hot sauce.
Yep.
Hell's Kitchen, one of the most famous references in pop culture to Hell's Kitchen is the devil of Hell's Kitchen, Daredevil, the Marvel comic.
Yep.
So a fact about Daredevil. First off, are you familiar with Daredevil from the Marvel comics or from the shows or?
With Ben Affleck? That's my knowledge of Daredevil.
So there was the Daredevil movie. There is the Netflix Daredevil series that I really enjoyed. Very dark, very R-rated. They're bringing it back into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But are you familiar? I think they showed in that movie how he lost his sight.
Yes.
Where there was like a truck, there was like a
forklift clipped a chemical barrel.
Yep, and got him. All right. So, did you know that the origin story of the Ninja Turtles are tied with Daredevil?
Really?
So, the creator, and I read this, so it's going to be I don't have it written down, but I did read this yesterday. The creator of Daredevil inspired the creator of Ninja Turtles, where he's like, because the Ninja Turtle comics are actually pretty dark and gritty. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the style. That's what we're going for. This is what we're wanting. Some low-level superhero, like, in the shadows, you know. So they tied their origin that the canister that blinded Matt Murdock rolled down.
Did it spill into the sewer?
Spilled into the sewer.
Really?
And so they said, so technically, in a way, Ninja Turtles and Matt Murdock are brothers. Because they were all born in the same accident.
That's crazy. Huh.
Yeah.
And that is, like, that's how it went down in the Marvel universe? No.
So that is how they explain the origin of the Ninja Turtles. I don't know on the Marvel side, like, that happened first, and then the Ninja Turtles kind of came in and said, this canister that rolled from this accident, from this spill that injured a kid, came down here. So I don't know.
That's fun.
If it retroactively, but it does open the door for Ninja Turtles in the Marvel universe, which I would be down for. Just randomly have a Ninja Turtles movie. Yeah,
that's funny. No, that's a fun one. I like that. But enjoy it.
Okay.
So, do you know how to say that? That, I guess, drinking greeting at the end there?
Ein Prost?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think.
Like, if I can sound it out, but it's probably, like, way different than that. Like, there's probably some V's in there and stuff, but... Anyways, that is an Oktoberfest saying. I think it's like the equivalent of, like, cheers, drink and be happy. Something along those lines. So I went the Oktoberfest route. So for Oktoberfest, so many people puking there is such an issue that Adidas came out with a limited edition vomit-proof sneaker for Oktoberfest to keep like that frothy beer puke off from your shoes.
That is disgusting.
Can you imagine it being such a problem that one of the biggest shoe companies in the world is like, what do we do about this?
I like how the resolution is, let's just make shoes that are puke-proof instead of like, let's address
this
the vomiting.
Massive drinking problem.
Yeah. Oh man, that is really good.
That one's fun. I like that.
I like that they're problem solvers at the end of the day.
Exactly.
That's what they are.
Heroes.
This is very hot, but I'm addicted to like that sweetness.
So I like cherry. Like the cherry in there's really good. The more I think about it, we could just quick Google it.
Yeah.
But like I love pork and I love duck, both of which lend themselves really well to like sweet, fruity things. Mm-hmm. I feel like this would be really good, almost like a Black Forest ham. Can you imagine that?
How did you think of that?
I'm thinking just like, because I like to roast pork tenderloin too.
Yeah. Pork tenderloin would be very good.
I think it'd be really good on pork or duck or something like that.
No, that's fantastic. It's, that sweetness. I really like the sweetness on it. A charcuterie board, that's a good, on the comments on the labeling, that is a good point too. Having this as like a little side that you can dip a cheese and a cracker and a meat little skewer into, that would be really good.
Black Forest ham is a variety of dry-cured smoked ham produced in the Black Forest region of Germany.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Okay.
It answers connects all the dots. All of the piece of string just finally went to the center.
That's funny. I like how we thought like long and hard about like what kind of fat can we come up with. And but, like the biggest one on there is the biggest font, Black Forest.
It's one of those things where like saying what it is makes total sense, but no one ever asked the question. They just kind of went with it.
Yeah.
Kind of like my uncle posted on Facebook recently of the reason why it's so quiet when it, like first snowfall, why it's so quiet. Mm-hmm. And it's because of like the sound reduction, because of like the air that gets trapped in the soft snow that becomes like an insulator, where then like all sound is just like muffled. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, makes total sense. I'm like, never really thought into it. I just was always like, yeah, it's quiet when it snows. So yeah, that one definitely a better heat. I would say that's a high 2. I didn't really, it lingers, but then it does fade. It's not a struggle for that one. The color, I didn't mention that, and I don't know if it's the purple labeling helping it with it, but it does seem like a very dark red to a purple, like color to it. I'm trying to think, we didn't really talk on the Westside Red what we would use that for, but I feel like the Louisiana sauce, kind of what you would use that for, like chicken wings.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
I think you could hear that bottle slosh on.
I heard.
Don't put the cap on it like you're trying to govern me like I'm a child.
Here, let me just put it over here.
I'm not done eating it yet.
I did.
I needed some darker color because I got a lot of oranges going on. I needed that purple.
We'll definitely reveal this.
That wasn't on purpose.
I know. I heard the droplet do the boop. So I know you're contabulating your score. I did want to mention on here that the Hell's Kitchen hot sauce, if you do want to get Hell's Kitchen hot sauce, just go to, just that. It's hellskitchenhotsauce.com. And they have these sauces. They have actually a lot more. We've done 4 sauces of theirs now. And there's definitely more that can be had. So looking at my score, I'm going to say right now mine was a 78.
It's 66.
Okay. I really like the uniqueness. Like the sweetness definitely helps with that ghost heat where it's a nice balance. Yeah, I just think it's a really well done sauce. It's always surprising when there's someone that does a sauce where it's like, hey, this has cherry, but it's not overly cloyingly sweet.
Yeah.
So that is a good job that he did on that.
Oh, I'm definitely putting it on pork. I've got a big pork loin in the freezer right now.
Pork would be a good one. Yeah, like both of these, again, 2 unique sauces. 2 kind of different thoughts on that. I'm wondering, just because of the cherry, I always go back to with this a fruitier one, like ice cream.
That'd be an intense ice cream.
It would be.
That'd be a hot one.
But ice cream naturally is going to cool because of the dairy. So yeah.
I would say points to Hell's Kitchen though for probably having the most unique, diverse set of flavors.
Oh yeah, I mean,
they're all over the board.
And I could show you the full lineup. There's even more unique sauces out there that he's got. I know there's a ginger one that's really good. I know there's a few of them that I had where I'm like, I could have bought the whole array, but I already had bought in so many sauces. And had I looked into the future, I would have bought less since we have over 100 sauces now to try. So yeah, but that is our Hell's Kitchen Quickfire. Again, hellskitchenhotsauce.com for any of their sauces. This is after Halloween, so hopefully everyone had a good Halloween. And I'm not sure what the next one will be. We gotta organize and figure out what our next sauce will be. So we maybe will may be open to suggestion if you guys have any recommendations. But until next time, thank you for listening.
See you.